Recording. Okay. So,
Hey.
hello, I'm Bernadette Luzama of the Luzama Connection with helping individuals and organizations with rest, recover, and return through the lens of any kind of loss. And
Mhm.
that's part of the grief recovery program. And I'm here with a very special human being.
Yeah,
And
I'll introduce my name is Daniel Ratchford, and I am the president and founder of Bro-reavement. And we are helping men and boys, especially men and boys of color, with grief and bereavement and helping them navigate that journey. And we create a brotherhood and help them heal.
yeah,
I'm
so
happy to be here with you, Bernadette.
thank you so much. I'm so happy. This is like the first official stepping into this coming year. I feel like you and I had this conversation about it's the grief season, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think that's really appropriate place to start for both of us, since that's the support that we do. What grief is, what grief isn't, misunderstandings about what grief is. But when you said that, what popped like for you, I can tell you mine, and I'd love to hear yours. So when you
Hmm.
say, it's the grief season for those of us who help those in who are in grief places, grieving spaces and places, what did that mean for you?
So for me, you know, 16 years ago, I lost my wife, and just the 16 years leading up to this moment right now, like it's always been something about grief that just comes up between, let's say, maybe Halloween and New Year's, Valentine's Day, like where just my family, we seem to always be at odds. Our emotions are through the roof, and could never really get a hold on it. But I, grief, it just pops up
Yeah.
whenever these holidays come around, and you're thinking about your loved one, and like you, of course, you want to think of the good times, but there's a lot of pain of it attached to the good times, and missing that person, and you
Yeah.
know and I think part of the healing journey for me is just being aware of it. We
Yeah.
just knowing that the holidays are coming up. So what should I be doing to get myself grounded, to get myself
Mm, mm.
in a better space, to kind of handle what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I appreciate you being so honest and real. And I that's one of the biggest takeaways I got as soon as I met you. Or was it? I think at the was it the Passaic conference, right?
County. Yes.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, especially because a lot of men, they don't know what to do with these feelings. I mean, women don't either. Into these unpleasant feelings, but it's so powerful of the work that you're doing with men, young men, older men, especially men of color as well. Um, I share that also, just coming from a first generation Chilean American, and having two brothers and my dad. Grief was not something that was talked about either. So coming from
Yeah.
that perspective, the holidays, when I hear the word, it's holiday grief season. It was so refreshing to hear you say that, because, and I'm not like, woohoo, yay. I'm just saying, to normalize that part of the holidays is so key and so important, because do you want to share what you were telling me before about what happens at the holidays, what people need to remember? Do you want to like expand a little bit more on that?
The things that the things that we need to remember is that of course your loved one would want you to be, happy, um, to be joyful. This is the season to kind of be around your family, but sometimes, just being at odds with the other loved ones who have gone through that experience with you, who don't know how to handle it, you
Yeah.
know. Um, it's not easy, you know. Like
Yeah.
I've been on my healing journey for the past, let's say 2 years, 3 years,
Yeah.
and it's tough. And just the last couple of weeks for me, I'm getting it from all angles, you know, and
Yeah.
I'm in this work. I'm doing this work on myself and trying to help other people. And still, it's still grief still pops its head out and
Yeah.
wants to kind of pull me down. But you know, like like I said, just being aware of it and being able to just pay attention to my feelings and
Yeah.
just full disclosure, I'm coming from a therapy session right now, you know, just
Mm.
being able to have that self-care for myself, just to
Yes.
go there and just kind of put out, you know, just some of the emotions and things that are going on in my life to someone who's neutral, who's going to give me feedback is what I call self-care. You know, I think that's
Yes.
the biggest thing I've been doing for myself. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's powerful and it's beautiful. I mean, there's a couple things that you said that speak to me and like that are really resonating. I think first of all, hello, everybody. Yes, the holiday season is upon us. And guess what? It's okay if you have conflicting feelings. It's okay. It's
Mhm.
not supposed to be this, white painting, Norman Rockwell, everybody's sitting at the table and they're happy. No, it is normal. You're not the only ones that have these conflicting feelings when you're getting together with family, right? And you saying going to therapy as self-care is so powerful for all of us. I myself personally, I remember, like I said, I'm first generation Chilean American. I'm the oldest of five. And I'm a cradle Catholic. So I have the Latina and the Irish Catholic going on there. So a lot of guilt. So when I said, hey, I want to go, I'm going to school for psychology and education, but then I'm also going to start therapy for myself. It was like, what do you mean? Who are you talking to? Why do you need to go over there? And it's like, I still love you. I just need to do some kind of taking care of. So when you said neutral person, that's that
Mhm.
neutral person. But I think, and tell me if this is, if this resonates with you or not. A lot of time, if we do step into therapy, as someone who is, of color or FGA, first generation American, um, it is something that can be judged and it can be, criticized. So,
Yeah.
have any thoughts around
Yeah.
that?
When I tell people, you know, I actually work in a garage around a bunch of guys, and you know, my job is kind of to break the stigma. So I bring it up to the guys like, yeah, I go to therapy, and they're like, what? What's wrong? And I'm like, nothing's wrong. Like I go through life just like you. Like a lot of my experiences are just like yours.
Yeah.
I find it just relieving just to be able to kind of just throw out some ideas and what's going on and just to get a little feedback. And you know, some of the guys go, yeah, that's good, I'm gonna do it. You know, some of the guys are like, oh, okay. But I think just normalizing it in our
Yes.
community. I'm African American, born and raised in the Bronx, grew up on hip hop music and you know, I've seen some things, I've been through some things, and
Yeah.
just being able to just try to figure out like just where my thoughts come from and
Yeah.
where my emotions come from, you know, is it's important to me. You know, I think everyone should be in therapy, talking to someone, probably to have a couple of different therapists to just get different ideas. I don't see anything that's wrong with that.
Yeah.
And just breaking the stigma, especially for
Yeah.
Black men, just for people of color in general. Like, um,
Yeah.
this is things that very successful people do. They go to therapy
That's right.
and just you
Yeah.
know like my favorite basketball players, like this is things that they do, and there's no reason to frown on it and to have so much stigma around it. Therapy is good.
Yes. Yes. Agreed. So,
Mhm.
first of all, yeah, I like you're saying about stigma. I think that there's so much that you and I are in alignment with for the people
Mhm.
that we serve, and the stigma is huge. And what's one of the things that one of my taglines was, to end the stigma around grief for any kind of loss. Like you said, you've seen a lot, right?
Hmm.
And when we talk in the grief recovery program that I do, we're not comparing losses. But so
Mm.
I'm not going to compare my loss to your loss. All I'm going to do
Mm-mm.
is I want to make sure that I can hold space for you as you would for
Mhm.
me, because we both can do that for each other, but without criticizing or demonizing or judging or fixing
Mhm.
whatever I'm telling you, because it's
Exactly.
just where I'm at. And it's okay that I'm at. And it's okay that you're where you're at. And I
Yeah.
think the feelings is huge. And that's something, there's a program. So when people come with me now, before we get into the grief recovery program, which by the way is not therapy, but it's therapeutic, um, it's feelings literacy. Because most people, it's like, how you doing? Fine, good, tired, right? So when you asked me
Mhm.
earlier, it was so
Exactly.
refreshing
Hmm.
for me. Sorry, did you say something? I'm so sorry. Did you say something?
No,
There
I'm
we go.
getting another call. Sorry. No, keep on.
Okay.
No, keep on going. I was getting another call. So.
Oh, okay. No, just saying, like when you asked me before, so how you doing, right?
Hmm.
The old version that I would be like, I'm fine, I'm good. And that's like the pasted face that we all have. Like
Hmm.
we're all pretending we're good for the holidays, but in reality,
Yeah.
every single one of us has experienced loss. And there hasn't been a safe space for those losses to be named
Yeah.
without somebody interrupting, fixing, judging, blah 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 blah
Mhm.
blah. So it was so refreshing to be able to say to you, I'm surprised, I'm excited, I'm grateful, and to
Yeah.
really to name that, and also to say is like, I'm a little nervous,
Hmm.
because um I don't know how this is going to go having like this time together with you. And so it's exciting to me right now.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that our country has a lot is very illiterate with mad, bad, sad, glad, right? But there's different
Hmm.
kinds of mad, there's different kinds of sad, there's different kinds. And then, so that's kind of what I feel like is really important, is a great starting point. So maybe around the holidays right now, people having that space away from the house, maybe
Hmm.
going to a coffee shop with a relative or a friend or whoever you're with that you're struggling with. You all experience the loss, but at different places. And so something that I was, inviting people to do on another post was just stepping out, at a time when both of you are awake and not tired or cranky, and just being like, just checking in and just listening to each other. Like you're saying, that's what you do with Broreavement. And I think we
Definitely.
need
Yeah.
we need that now more than ever, because this is that heightened season of
Yep.
anxiety and stress, you
Yeah.
know.
With Broreavement, we've been trying to be as consistent as possible, and just to hold the spaces for the guys.
Mm.
And they're coming in. Just last weekend, we had a paintballing trip.
I saw that. That looked
Yeah,
great.
this is my first time going, and it's addictive. It's actually pretty fun, just running around. I'm in my mid 40s now, and I'm getting a little slower. My brain is telling my body I could do things that I really can't. But just being able to be outside, running around, just having fun with guys,
Yes.
it was cool. But then the more important part was the conversation about loss. Um, guys being able to look at the person to their left, to their right, and know that they have been through something similar, that they've had experiences, that they understand them, and like and no judging. No one is trying to give you an answer of how, oh, this is how you get. No, like everyone grieves and does stuff on their own time. And I think what's great about what we do, we provide those spaces for people to come to and just to let things go.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least for an hour or two, just to be able, it pays out a lot. I'm lucky enough to have guys around me who are holding me up. Like I'm not perfect.
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I'm the one who started this thing, yeah, but like I still have a lot of chaos going on in my life, and I do the best I possibly could, but I strive to do better every day, and just being around the guys and seeing their journey start and and week to week they come in, they reach out to me on the side. It's very fulfilling. But I'm still on my journey though. I enjoy being able to have conversations with you, Bernadette, and this is I'm happy that you reached out and we were able to make this connection. Hmm.
Yes. Me too. And it's interesting. The thing, just like to wrap up, because I know we both have to go soon, but I wanted to share with you. I think that the thing that I really appreciate about what you're saying is a lot of people have, is that you're giving them the power of presence. And that's what the work that I'm doing is about, the power of presence. And just like you said, just because you are running it, just because I'm running this doesn't mean that we're still not going to be experiencing our own losses and our
Hmm.
own things in the background. And so literally I'm just leaving, like having a sauna for myself and connecting with people over there that they're taking care of me so I can take care of others. So I think that's another for someone especially who's, like I said, first generation and also oldest daughter, there's something about taking care, and then the burnout. And
Hmm.
I appreciate so much, like what you're saying, the power of presence that you're offering to men who typically may not have that, as well as for myself, for the specific group of women, as for anybody, but I'm just saying for
Hmm.
women who are usually like the doers, the taking care of everything, and they burnt out. And then even though they have all these people around them, they're still so alone. And
Hmm.
they're like, where is the help? And so it's a practice. And I feel like that's what you're doing, and that's what I'm doing. Is like we're being these role models of practice and saying we're not
Hmm.
perfect. And
Exactly.
there is the celebration of life, but there's also the loss of life. And that's part of being human. And I also appreciate how you're saying how you go to therapy. I still have a therapist, and I've had so many different therapists who've helped me in all different ways. Um, and what you provide and what I provide is therapeutic, but it's not therapy for those who are not, into that or not ready. And, they don't have to, but just to have
Exactly.
something, right,
Hmm.
um, is huge. And
Yeah. The T
yeah.
word in my class, the T word in my classes, they're like, "What therapy? What do you mean?" What usually happens at my classes, let's say for instance, a cooking class, we're cooking, we're doing things, everybody's eating, having a good time, and then we bring up the topic of loss and grief, and there's usually one or two guys in the room, the light bulb goes off, and it's like, "Oh, this is why she told me to come here. I didn't know." I didn't know what this class was about, but usually it's someone's wife or their mother or their
Mm,
sister who kind
yeah.
of not tricked them, but was like, "You need to be at this class," and like it's good, but the conversation just goes. Like
Okay.
guys want to jump in whenever a topic is brought out. We're usually talking for an hour and a half, and before you know it, they're trying to kick us out of the place. But yeah, yeah, it's
So
so
it's wanted.
powerful. Yeah,
It's
oh, for sure. It's needed.
it's
Yes.
needed. So
Hmm.
just to wrap things up, two
Hmm.
things. One is, first, I want to do this again. Maybe we can do this once a quarter or
Oh,
something,
yeah,
different. Right now
definitely.
we're in the holiday grief season. But
Hmm.
one of the things I was going to ask you then is how, so people who are listening to us,
Hmm.
and they have a man in their life that is grieving, what would be like, if they, let's say they're not near you, they can't get to an event, you know, of course, we're going to give everybody your contact information, my contact
Hmm.
information, Bro-reavement, the Luzama connection. We'll do that. But what would be like for the holidays, especially, but maybe in general too, what would be like a top two, just for time's sake, top two
Hmm.
tips on how to approach or how to support their partner who's grieving?
Um, Number one, everyone grieves differently.
Mm,
So, um, sometimes guys don't want to talk about things, and that's okay. Um, Number two, um, the way I approach, just being around family and different family is to have an exit plan.
that's good. Yes. Yeah.
Like when when you feel your emotions rising and the
mm,
conversations are
mm,
starting to go left about anything, it could be about politics or religion. Those are usually the hot
hmm.
topics.
Yeah.
Have an exit plan. Like talk to your significant other. Hey, when I give you that look, that means it's time to go.
Mhm. Mm.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's
Um,
right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
and yeah,
Those are,
but definitely with the guys, it's hard to get them to open up. So the spaces that we create, we try to keep it all men. Sometimes it's easier when men interact with other men.
yes.
And then to have young men around to see the guys
Yes.
interacting and talking about their
Yes.
emotion kind of
Yes.
normalizes things. So that's some of the special things that we have going on. And yeah, we definitely
Oof.
need to do this more.
We do because there's so many things that are popping in my head right now.
Yes.
And I'm hearing you breaking generational trauma. And I'm hearing for myself, that is my, shh, don't tell nobody except for the people that are listening here. That's my secret sauce of what I want to do. I want to break generational trauma, take the stigma
Yeah.
away. So I want to help women to give themselves permission to a little bit doing what you're saying is one, to have a boundary. You are allowed to
Mhm.
have a boundary. I didn't even know what a boundary was as an
Same.
adult. And I started doing this work. I'm like, wait, I'm allowed to say no. I couldn't even say no. Like it was
Mhm.
crazy. And I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of women out there who they just don't want to rock the boat. So one is having a boundary for yourself, but knowing what that boundary is before you step into the space during the holidays. And then
Hmm.
just like what you're saying, giving yourself that permission. What is that exit? Like what, knowing what your boundaries are. You don't even need to say it to anybody because it's not going to be helpful if it's everybody's all emotion. But just to even, you know what? Your stomach's hurting. You might have to go. Whatever
Hmm.
you do for your self-preservation, because if not, you're taking that on. And then I think those are like, I think the tips that you gave combined with this is like
Definitely.
very helpful for all of us. So
Yes,
just
yes,
want to
yes.
say thank you. You want to say
Of
anything more
course.
about you? Like how can people get to you?
Okay, so we're on all the socials. Broreavement. So it's like bereavement, but bro in front of it. Um, what do we have going on? We are planning a men's self-care day in Patterson on December 13th. We'll start posting about it pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. And then in a week and a half is Giving Tuesday, where people get a chance to donate to their favorite charities, Bro-reavement. So yeah, we do a ton of events throughout the year. I was counting and I think we were like at like 25, 30 different events that we did this year, which is nuts. But
Nuts.
we've been very active, just trying to keep just a space for the guys, like it's
Yes,
it, yeah, yeah. I could go on and on, like,
I know. I gotta
but
go.
just yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all good, Bernadette. But definitely
Thank
tap in with us.
Absolutely. And for anybody else who is just looking for now, Tuesday nights, Eastern time, as will be everything. The Luzama connection will be having just some safe space for you online. I can only take 8 at a time because we like to keep it intimate. And then starting in January, we're up and running with the grief recovery method programs and having some other groups. But for both myself, the Luzama connection, Bernadette Luzama Knoll, and for Broreavement, Daniel Ratchford, it's been such a great, great honor and privilege. And thank you so much for being here. And everybody else, reach out to us. We're out there. And give on Giving Tuesday to
Yes.
Bro-reavement.
Thank you, Bernadette.
Thank you.